everybody to the Shiva and Eretz Israel, and we're starting to go for a very important point. As Rabbi Wasserman pointed out, we look right behind me. That is the Har Habayit. The Har Habayit is the most Kodesh place for the Jewish people in the world. That is where the Kodesh Kedoshim exists. And according to the Rambam, that Kedusha is maintained today. It's a big machlokas Rishonim. Other Rishonim are of the opinion that the Kedusha is not there, as it was on the same status when the Beis Hamikdash stood. But the halacha, as the Mishnah Berurah points out, goes like the Rambam. So that place is Kodesh as it was, as if the Beis Hamikdash is standing. But that place also contains for us the origin, the roots of Yadus is in that place. We first find its appearance in the Torah when the Kadosh Baruch Hu told Avraham Avinu by the Akedah to go to Eretz HaMoriah, and later came Har Habayit. And Lashon HaMoriah, the Yishalmi says, debate. Some say HaMoriah comes from the expression of Hara, teaching. Torah means Hara, teaching. Learn Torah, and Torah teaches you what to do. And the concept was that Avraham Avinu was really our first teacher. He was makabel, the mitzvahs Makadosh Baruch Hu. He taught his children, his grandchildren, and from him came the Masorah of Torah. As we go on, we get more and more mitzvahs. The other interpretation of Hamoriah is in the word yira, fear. That to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, fear doesn't mean to be scared of. It's not the idea of you're afraid, but fear means like awe. You hold high respect and awe of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that was Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was the first one to recognize the concept of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the first one to realize there only is one God. Monotheism came from Avraham Avinu, and here's where the Akedah took place. Here's where Avraham Avinu expressed his love, his fear, his acceptance of mitzvahs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he was willing to offer a son just to fulfill the commandment of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, the Rambam, quoting Gemaras, brings down other origins or other roles that the Har Habayit plays for us. The Rambam says this really starts the place where Cain and Hevel, they offered their korban. Where were they when they offered the korban? The Rambam says right there. They offered it on the Har Habayit. Then it was an open field. That's where they offered the korban. The Rambam says here is where Noah came when he came out of the Teva to offer his korban on the Har Habayit. And Mepharshim say, why did Noah feel it so important to travel all the way to Yerushalayim to offer his korban there? And the answer is because Har Habayit has a concept that no other place has, concept of recognition, Yir HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Rambam says, when the Torah says that God created man, he took it off from an Adamah. He took a scoop of earth from the ground, and from that scoop of earth, we exist. Which, by the way, scientists, it took them a little longer, but they basically came up with the same idea. The scientific understanding is everything we see in this world, including ourselves, comes from stardust. But at that time, they didn't understand the concept of stardust. So use a more simple term, earth from the ground. That's where we come from. And the Rambam says, where in the world did HaKadosh Baruch Hu get the earth from? The Rambam says, right there, the Makom HaMizbeach. That's where our origin came from this place. So the Har Habayit is the foundation of Yadus, the foundation of Judaism, the philosophical ideas. Torah was the Har Habayit, Sanhedrin, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah. From Tzion will come Torah. That's the Har Habayit. So in us, it is the birth, the Kedusha, the philosophy, the halachos, all situated on the Har Habayit. And if you look closely, not even that closely, you see a gold dome. Now you wonder, what's that gold dome for? Well, it has nothing to do with Judaism. Nothing to do with Judaism. In fact, it's an Islamic shrine. Now, Islam's purpose was to spread Islam and to eradicate Judaism from the face of the earth. Muhammad's goal was that there will not be a Jewish religion. It really wasn't only his goal, it was the goal of the Christians too. The Christians and Islam, they took their religion from the Jews, and of course, you want to get rid of the original religion. So the Christians came up with the New Testament, like the old is outdated. So they took the Muslims came up with their religion, and the idea was that these religions will replace Judaism. So therefore, they built a shrine in honor of Islam on the Kodesh Kodashim. That was very important for them. On the place where the Jews say, this is Kodesh to Jewish people, they show that we replaced it, according to their religion, according to their prophecy, with Islam. Islam will, and they say, replaces Judaism. Now, one of the most amazing questions that is asked today, and people are finally waking up to the thought, and they say, we asked the question, you see that gold dome? Well, it wasn't always gold. The gold dome's about 1,100 years old. In the beginning, it was gold, but then there was different reasons. It took down the gold for over 1,000 years. It was not gold. It was painted gold. It was bronze. But in 1992, King Hussein of Jordan decided he wanted to show that the Muslims and his kingdom, the Hashemite kingdom, has the right and the authority and the rule over the Temple Mount. He said, I will replace the dome with solid gold, a $10 million project, and I will fix up the dome. It's the biggest gold dome in the world. Now I asked the question, now 1 second, how does King Hussein get his gold over here? He's in Jordan. So he had to get permission from the Jews, the Jewish people, us, the Knesset, our Jewish religion. We gave King Hussein permission to build the biggest gold dome in the world to honor Islam over the Kodesh Kodashim, and the purpose of Islam is to show that Islam replaces Judaism. And how'd that happen? That's one of the major mysteries that we're facing today. But people are waking up to it, and during the year we're going to talk more about it. What is our responsibility? How do we have to react to this? But it's something we cannot accept. We cannot accept it sitting down. We have an obligation, a mitzvah, many mitzvahs, midoraisa, to show that this is Kodesh. We are showing that the conflict between Islam and Judaism, which now takes place on the Har Habayit, where Islam says we replace Judaism, we come and we are showing that the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu is correct. The Jews have come back from all over the world to Eretz Israel, something that 100 years ago people thought it would never happen. It never happened. Just about 100 years ago, it was the Balfour Declaration. Shocked the world. The Jews are coming back. The prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu is correct. I was here the first time in 1964. All this was Jordan. Yerushalayim was split, and we were told that now we have to wait for Mashiach. In 1964, we came to spend a year in Israel like you guys, and we were told as far as we can go. Now Hashem says wait, and the Beis Shemigis will come from Shemayim. But no, it didn't come from Shemayim. In 1967, all this came back. All this came back in fulfillment of the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu says there will be a Bayis Shlishi, and it will be built. And we have to recognize this, wake up to this idea, and begin to think new avenues. What is our responsibility, our commitment to the Torah and to mitzvos, and many of it centers around the Har Habayit. Okay?